and the evolution of the project management industry from a methodology perspective, from a technology perspective, and the new possibilities that exist from a ROI and efficiency standpoint. Now that we've addressed that, let's talk a little bit about the future. So, especially in your position as a thought leader, as someone who is looking at a lot of new project management research, approaches, tools, technologies, you speak at a lot of conferences, you've written a lot of books. So I'd like you to get out your magic 8 ball and peer into, or perhaps telescope and peer into the future. So what does project management look like, Mounir, in 5 years, 10 years, perhaps more? Any perspective on that?
There are a lot of people who are predicting that online, and I think many of them, with all due respect, are probably mistaken. And I don't mean that in an arrogant way. I'll tell you why. I mean, today, there is a lot of misunderstanding about project management in the market. A lot of what we see online and the software that we see and that we should drive project management in a way is coming from technology background, which is heavily focused from learning from development of project. That means the delivery, what we call in-camp delivery, or what people call the development of the product phase. So they're not looking holistically. And because a lot of that stuff becomes data-driven, so a lot of people think today that with AI coming, artificial intelligence coming on board, and I think there's some data out there, I forget right now the source, is that they claim within a few years that 80% of project management tasks could be done by AI. Well, I definitely, I think that's totally mistaken, and this is basically based on theory rather than any real hard work. Project management, real competent project management, it's highly people dependent and highly flexible in terms of understanding the context and the environment. And I think that will be very hard to automate or to use AI for it. Yes, things that we can learn, like a car, with cameras can see a curve here, avoid it, easy. In project management, yes, definitely AI is huge and can play a significant role, but not in taking over, because that's some of the people they promote it in a way that is taking over project management, by assisting project manager to be able to do better. Now, how can we do that? And this is one of the ideas, and we will have one module in Uruk for this, is the ability to, actually maybe we'll have 2 modules, is how can we use artificial intelligence and data, data analytics, big data, data analytics, artificial intelligence, all of these interrelated concepts, how can we use them to help us manage project effectively? Yes, that means a lot of data could be automated using proper automation techniques, but we still need the culture and the intelligence and of the human, at least, that I can see it for the next maybe 20 years, maybe 50 years from now, I don't know. So one thing we're trying to do, and forgive me, I need to come back to Uruk, because that I can relate it to the future of project management, because we are developing Uruk based on how we see the future. Is that we need data. So in Uruk, we are building a lot of metrics and dashboard. So basically, there are a lot of data, probably more metrics than needed to display in dashboard for the average organization on a typical project. However, we're building a lot of metrics and be able to capture that data, obviously with masking the identity of the companies and protecting the privacy and confidentiality. Then we can do what we call external benchmarking. So we can help organizations understand how they're performing in comparison to everybody else. And that data and that analytic will give us a lot of data and a lot of knowledge and information. Obviously, we need to convert the data into knowledge, into tools and systems that allow us to develop what we call predictive analytics. That's what we're calling right now. I'm not sure if that's the exact scientific name, but using the data and the history and the benchmarking from across the industry, from across our client, from different type of organization, different type of project, different size of project, the ability to collect that data and sort it and categorize it by project type and size and complexity and so on, that will give us a lot of insight that we can put it into service to help our clients and to be able to help our client to manage project effectively. So the idea, we start with benchmarking, and then we move it to predictive analytics, where we can come up, and here probably down the road, I don't have that expertise. I'm not a technical guy, but definitely we need to hire expert in AI and data analytics later to start to basically create predictive analytic model. So, and so we can simulate project. As we are working on analysis of a project, we can go in and, for example, analyze today, based on current performance, we can analyze the data. We can analyze the data and the information on the existing project. Using the predictive analytic information, we can come up with much better forecasting than we do today. Today, what happens often, especially in complex project we perform, we collect data, we adjust the forecast. That means when we say the forecast, for people who are not familiar with the term, is that basically the to-go, the remaining work, how long would it take, the completion date, does it change, doesn't change. Right now, we use some analytic already, but often enough, we are using the analytic based on experience and gut feeling and instinct rather than science. When we can combine that gut feeling and instinct and expertise of senior project manager and director with the wisdom and the real life experience with the data analytics, I am sure we can significantly improve decision-making. I cannot put a number on it, by 2, 3, 4, 5 folds. In time, we can have science help us determine what is the real value, but that's significantly help us. So in the future, what we need is the power of data analytics and predictive analytics to help us manage project effectively. That's one, using whatever technologies that are available for us, that we need that. Second, I think honestly, organization need to shift from the technology mindset with the power of technology into the ability to think of project holistically, integrating project management with business like what Uruk is doing. That I think a lot of organizations need to move that way and transform their practices toward holistic project management, adaptive project management, where we look at project from idea and inception all the way to closure, including the integration with business and asset and product management and operation management. And organization, one more thing that I say that not necessarily related to Uruk, but this project management. One of the biggest nightmare and the reason of project failure, especially in facilities project today, and mega project even, is the absence of project management competence on project owner side. Now, I hope in due time, SUKAD can continue to play the role of encouraging project owner. And what I mean by project owner, I mean these companies who are actually developing these projects and they will be operating them, including government, obviously, any infrastructure, highway, dams, utilities, hotels. What we would love to see, and that's part of our promotion, and we will use Uruk to help us promote this concept, is that these project owners to build their competence and capacity to manage project internally, because a lot of the research has shown when you depend on contractor or PMC consultant, you don't do as well as if you had managed yourself directly.
Thank you, Mounir. As